Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, Tammeraut's Fate Part 9. Today is March 5th, 2020, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each of our listeners and viewers at the beginning of each of our sessions. This is your first time listening in or catching us live. You can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to catch up on all of our VODs. We also have audio casts available wherever audio casts are made available for free. If you also enjoy supporting the show, and also just enjoy the show in general, consider for a brief moment going to patreon.com/indooradventures. You gain access to our Discord, as well as get access to our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community but also from each other. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, that is where you can hear our responses. Other than that, we also have our merch store set up. So if you would like to get any t-shirts, posters, mugs, that sort of thing, go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. And I believe that there is still a coupon going on, which is if you use 25 clothes, you can get, as the promo code, you can get 25% off all of the apparel that we have listed on our store. So consider going to check that out. It's a good time. But that is it for my spiel. So, hey, Dingo, who are you playing tonight?
I'm Dingo, she, her, and I am playing Hish, Sun Guard, half-orc fighter, he, him, sitting on a ghost ship headed to the bottom of the ocean. It's all good.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Reeves, also known as Reeves_bot. I'm playing Ulman Dark, the sentient sword, he, him. And I'm not playing him right now, who's sentient slime, they, them.
Boy, I'm Cyber, he, him. I play Albus, the semi-hybrid sorcerer, he, him. Who?
Hi everyone, I'm KyleWithAnN. Tonight I'm playing Jilfa'en, the half-elf cleric. We both use she, her. And right now one of us is tending to the meaty bits of a ship.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your dungeon master. So, last we left off, your group decided after a brief stint in the town of Uskarn that you were then going to get all of the supplies that you needed to then make your way towards the city of Muraan in the country of the city, of course, where our dear Jilfa'en resided in previously. Hish, you and your ex-wife Talia had a heartfelt goodbye, and as your crew was making good headway down the coastal shores, you ended up encountering a ship. Another ship that also seemed to move and function on its own, like your own demon vessel named Triumph. However, this ship was made of bones. After an intense round of combat, you were all able to quickly defeat a lot of these bony boys, with the remaining numbers actually jumping off the side of the ship into the waters below. And as you watched this skeletal vessel begin to list and submerge, Ulman, you and Hish decided that you were going to jump over and do your best to try and find what sweet-ass treasure you could find inside of this ship, as you both had abilities and items that allowed you to breathe underwater. However, upon reaching the bilge of this skeletal ship, you all encountered what appeared to be a dark spire-like crystal in the center of the ship that seemed to rise out of the middle. And upon getting close to it, Hish, you ended up failing a wisdom save and saw a grotesque face motioning towards you, telling you that as long as you piloted the ship, everything would be safe. Ulman, you were able to withstand the thrall of this skeletal ship, but your form, your physical body known as Hamdark, was actually unable to withstand the thrall. So you are now trapped as a sentient sword inside of a body that is no longer listening to you, as the two of you begin to make your way down deeper into the depths of the ocean. On the surface, Albus, you and Jill are tending to, or at least Jill is tending to triumph the living ship that you all have. Albus, what are you currently doing? You have seen the skeletal ship that Hish and Ulman were on completely submerge.
It's completely underwater, and my compatriots have not gotten off.
No, they have not. You know that they both have abilities that will allow them to breathe underwater. So seeing it submerge isn't necessarily the most frightening of ideas, but it's still concerning.
I am going to spend some sorcery points to cast Sending. To who got on the ship first?
Hish had jumped on the ship first with a sweet athletics check.
Hish, are you all right? Did you get what you came for? Are you coming back?
Yeah, I think Hish sends back. Still looking around, but everything's fine.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Cool. And I'm gonna spend some. I'm gonna spend some more for 3 points. Do you need me to come help? What are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Hish, at this point, from the influence that has been put upon you, this is a more the merrier situation.
Great.
You're on a new ship, and your new ship needs a crew.
Yeah, I think Hish sends back come on over, bring Jill too.
Jill, I think Hish and Ulman might need some help getting what they need off of the ship. It's going down pretty fast. I figured they need to get whatever they're looking for quickly.
Question. How many people are like still left on the ship? Because we had one guy die and get thrown overboard. So is it just the other dude?
It was just
And
one
us
other
two?
guy.
One other guy and us two. And how is Triumph looking? Are they starting to like
The healing
heal
process.
on their
Yeah.
own now? Okay, they just need a little jolt. Jill will say, well, I can certainly try to help. Let me see. I have to remember how long I can actually breathe underwater for. Oh, perfect. An hour. Okay. Were you able to find out what it is they had gotten? Or
No.
oh boy. Well, I'm sure he's just trying to make off like a bandit, so I expect a few trips. Okay. Just
We have bags of holding.
oh yeah, that's well, we didn't get any of those taken. One of those belonged to Gang.
That was a Hordes
Oh.
person bag. It was a little
Okay.
different.
in the meantime, I am also converting some sorcery points.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess Jill wouldn't think to heal necessarily, so no. Yeah, she's gonna drink the potion of water breathing. Glug, glug, glug. And yeah, go
Yeah.
hop in the water.
How fast is the ship descending?
It had taken on a sizable amount of water, and as it is descending, it is moving, I would say, about 20 feet per round. It's still moving at ship speed, so you are able, if you would like, to quickly like close the distance on that, because you only really have to worry about yourself. And Jill, wearing heavy armor certainly helps sinking. You have a swim speed, which is fine, but as far as like actual physics is concerned, you are able to sink quicker.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we go toward the boat.
Alrighty. So as you are swimming towards the boat, Ulman, you hear a voice that says, "You know, I could help you. You seem like you're in a little bit of a pickle."
You know, I'm never going to say yes.
You might, given the right circumstance. This is bad. This is not a good time.
You're right. It's pretty bad. But I'm confident in myself, and I don't want you to destroy everything, so I'm not going to help you.
I'm not asking for your help. I'm offering mine. Your dear friend and, well, traveling companion Ham's quite important to me. So this would be for them. Really.
You say, speaking from a normal person, hearing what you say from a mortal, perhaps I would believe them. But I don't believe any of the gods, including you, want anything more from us than our service to forward your own goals. Can I try to control the body?
Make an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's a 5.
All right. So Tharsden does not continue to try and reach out to speak with you. And as you try and flex your will against Ham, your surrounding vision is met with a flash of red. And then it just seems like there is a barrier that is blocking you from doing so. And Ham looks down towards you, and you see that they get this almost wicked smile on their face, and they toss you away from them. And you clatter down onto the deck, onto the actual floor of the bilge. But Ham knows that what you are capable of, and doesn't wish for this to happen. So you are now currently resting on the floor of the skeletal ship. Ham will actually go over to you, Hish, and in Ulman's voice will ask if there's anything you need of them. And they have the same kind of demeanor as you're very used to Ulman having.
Did I not see Ham yeet Ulman out of his body?
You did.
Okay. Yeah, Hish pauses for a moment and he says, not at the moment, but stick close. I think he'll go over and pick up the sword that they yeeted out, and I think he'll put it in his belt and move through the rest of the ship.
Okay. To inspect your new ship.
My new home, my cool new ship.
Yes. It seems very empty. It seems... While it does seem vacant, it looks like this would be the perfect place to start putting up new walls. Like, you can already like mentally picture, like, okay, we could have our galley here, we could have like we could have a kitchen here, but at the same time, like, when you think about having a kitchen, when you think about having rooms, there's almost a thought of, it's like they're unnecessary now. To eat on this ship doesn't seem like, why would you need to even waste your time doing that? To rest on this ship, why would you need to do that? Being on this ship is giving you that same kind of fulfillment that any of these other actions that would give you sustenance would actually give you. And you know that Albus and Jill are going to be arriving shortly. And you know that the two of them are going to love what is in the bilge. Albus hates the gods. So does the presence within the spire. Jill has sought to free herself and protect those that she cares about. So does the presence within the spire.
So. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, I think he goes up to the, after sort of looking around at his new home, I think he sort of jogs up to the deck to meet Albus and Jill.
Okay.
And we're like fully underwater.
Oh yes, you are
now, right?
You are most certainly submerged.
Okay.
And there is it's like an internal compass that you have. You are connected with this ship and you know that it is not much farther to where you need to go. And as you see Albus and Jill swimming down towards your vessel, you also look off towards the direction that you need to go to, that you feel this urge to go to. And it looks like there is just a sinkhole on the ocean floor. Albus and Jill.
How far away is Hish whenever we see him?
Hish, when you are first able to see him, is about 100, 120 feet away.
Okay, well, this is going to take many, many, many rounds.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, you are eventually able to catch up to them.
Once we're without 30 feet of Hish, are you... I'm going to invasive thoughts with with Hish. I thought you were still looking for stuff. Did you find what you needed? Why aren't y'all going back up?
I mean, I didn't find.
Or do we still need? Why aren't you looking around?
I mean, it's a little empty right now, but Ulman's
So-
still down there looking around, but otherwise, I think this place is actually pretty perfect.
Yeah, you are at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, but we can all
Well-
breathe. It's not so bad.
Not Jill.
She seems like she's doing fine.
Get Ulman. We need to get back up.
Hish, I was to say, you also have this feeling like if you just showed Jill the spire, who knows? She might be given the ability to breathe indefinitely underwater. The spire
Yeah.
seems like it is capable of countless boons.
Yeah, Hish puts up his hands and he goes, hang on, just follow me. Let me show you something. And he'll start to go down to the
Yeah.
bilge.
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of sus. Like
Albus, make an insight check, and Jill, you can as well. Or I guess it would just be Albus because
Yeah,
they're
I
not
wasn't privy
communicating.
to it. Yeah.
Indoor.
Just
You
Hish
said
waving
that
you along.
I can project to crewmates, right?
If they
14.
are wielding you, Hish has put you on their belt, and you are just along for the ride at this point.
Just scream into Hish's ear.
What'd you get, Albus?
Actually, I'm hoping to try to connect to Albus.
Albus would have to be holding on to you.
Do I see that? Where are you?
I've put him. I've like sheathed him in my belt.
Would I notice by the hilt?
Make a perception check. But what did you get for insight?
14.
Okay.
Oh, it's gone forever. Perception? 13.
Okay. I would say that a 13 is enough that you would recognize the hilt. And with that, Hish, make a persuasion check.
Okay.
It's not deception, as this is something that you truly believe.
Yep, that die is gone forever.
11 plus 5, 16.
Damn it.
So, yeah, Hish seems to be telling the truth about this, but
All right.
they are carrying Ulman around, or at least
Why?
Ulman's sword.
Why do you have Ulman? Thought he was down in wherever you're taking us.
Hish says, Ham dropped it. I don't know. I just picked it up and
Why would Ham get rid of Ulman?
I didn't really think to ask. Come on. I want to show you this. It's really cool.
And Jill, you just see Hish very calmly just, come on.
I will mind link to Jill and relay that apparently Ham is looking for something downstairs, but has gotten rid of Ulman, who Hish is now carrying. And I don't know.
That doesn't seem like something Ham would typically do.
But I do see Ulman, right?
Yeah, you saw the hilt of Ulman's sword.
Mind link to Ulman. Why did Ham get rid of you?
Oh, thank goodness! Oh,
What's
there's
going on?
freaky crystal in the bilge, and it took over both of them mentally.
Relay that to Jill.
Okay. Not good. Maybe we should get a look at the crystal and see if it's some sort of something we can counteract.
Mind link to Ulman. The crystal. What is it? Why does Hish want to show us so bad?
I don't know what their intention is, but every time I hit that crystal, it tried to dominate us.
It dominated you.
Well, it pushed in on my mind, and I buffed it off, but Ham wasn't so lucky the second hit.
Where's Ham now?
I think
He's
in the
still
bilge.
in the bilge. Do you think it's permanent? Do you think if we got them away?
I don't know.
All right.
I still think it should be broken. But they'll try to stop you.
Let's worry about one thing at a time. I'm going to follow.
Yeah. Soon, follow.
Okay. Sounds good.
And yeah, follow down.
Entering into the bilge, Ham is not there.
Ham is not there.
Ham is not there.
Where's Ham?
Instead, what you see, and Hish, Ham is probably, he's one of the boys. He's a smart cookie. He's probably doing something smart. Yeah,
Checking out their new digs.
Checking out
It's
the new
fine.
digs. Same thing that you did, like finding a good place. Who knows? Maybe he's already like found a humanoid-sized hole in the side of this ship that he can just kind of like rest up against. He found his place. But in the bilge, Albus, you and Jill see it is this protruding spire from the center of the bilge, and normally in other vessels, this is where the mast pole would actually stretch down towards. But what you see instead is almost like a monolith. It is this dark crystal that looks like it is jet black that has these reddish tinges to it. There are twisted spikes that seem to come up from the base that all kind of swirl around, and these bones that make up the hull of the ship all seem to gravitate towards this central spot, almost like they are, if they had fingers, they would be clawing their ways. But even though they don't, it seems like these bones are trying to make their way towards this central mass.
Whenever I do not see Ham in the bilge, I cast Detect Thoughts. I don't focus on anybody, so I'm gonna read what it says in the spell. I can use the spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures that I cannot see. When I cast a spell as your action during the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. It can penetrate barriers, but 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of metal, anything other than lead, or a thin sheet of lead blocks you. You can't detect a creature with intelligence of 3 or lower, or one that doesn't speak any language.
Okay. And are you searching for Ham?
Yes.
Ham is at the crystal, but along its backside.
So
because like Ulman was saying, he had damaged the crystal previously. The thoughts that you get back from Ham just doing a surface layer is, I have to fix this. It'll take us home. A new home, a good home.
So he is in the bilge?
He is in the bilge, but you cannot... So he is standing the spire is a large object. He is just standing behind it on the areas where Ulman had struck against it, with the thoughts of, I need to repair this and fix this going on in his head. So he is here, you just cannot see him physically from where you are currently standing.
He's doing a damn fine job.
Does this spire look reminiscent of... Because I think in Jill's mind, Jill doesn't know what this is, so to her, does it look reminiscent of any black spires she's heard about?
The ones that you are used to seeing are of a almost basalt-like stone. This is a gem. This is some sort of wicked-looking crystalline structure, where the ones that you were used to seeing are much more like, almost look like the Washington Monument in DC, where it's just like a large black stone.
Okay. Can I get like some sort of, with the knowledge that it's doing something to Hish and Ham, can I get, I don't want to say vibe check, but like kind of see if like I can gauge any of its properties just by looking at it, or I don't know.
If you want to vibe check, you will most likely have to get closer. As looking at it now, its properties seem... It's just foreboding. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's like the water here is... Like, you're underwater. You've been underwater for, at this point, roughly 25 minutes. And it just feels grimy down here. Like, there is like a film that seems to just emanate off of this crystal and fill the bilge.
Hish is kind of sort of looking at the both of you and like gesturing towards the crystal, like, huh? Come on, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can I move so I can see Ham?
Yeah. And when you move to see
Ham, how far is he away?
Ham is, from where you would move, he is 20 feet, and you see that Ham has a hand extended out, or at least the arm is extended out, because Ham has a more gelatinous form. You see that the hand is actually just sort of turned into almost like a, not necessarily like a paintbrush, but it seems to just be filling in cracks that have been formed, like these puncture marks that are on the side of the crystal. Okay. And as you see Ham, they bring their hand down from one of these areas, and it looks like that area of the crystal has resurfaced, and then they stick a hand back up, and you watch as that hand then just sort of splays out to once again fill up the cracks of the other section where it had been punctured.
Cool. I need Hish and Ham to make a charisma saving throw.
Leave me alone.
No.
I think Hish is actually trying to get your attention, like, hello.
Yeah.
In the presence...
Oh, yeah, sure.
in the presence of the spire, they will both have advantage on this save.
Ooh.
Beans on toast. Okay.
Yeah, I think Hish, after sort of gesturing to you, he says...
LB gave me this dice, and it was the first one that I rolled. Womp, 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 womp.
I'm gonna eat it.
No.
Oh, it's very big, though.
Get rid of it. Bad.
I think that one would actually be very bad for you. It's metal, right?
It's very much metal.
I'm just getting my daily dose of iron.
I also blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Praise be the spire.
Fuck us, huh?
Oh, did you roll for him?
Yeah.
Oh, I also rolled for him. I see. Never mind.
Yeah.
I got a 14 with advantage.
That's okay. You don't have to roll for Ham right now.
Okay. Albus has attempted to banish both of you, and both of you succeeded.
Hish, you feel Albus has cast a spell towards you, because banishment has semantic components, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm psionic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Hish, you know that Albus has tried to cast some sort of icky spell towards you, and Ham seems to know that as well. And Hish, there is a thought that enters your mind that is Albus is he's trying to take you away from this new home. But there's something else there. Albus is a man of secrets. He has always been so full of information, and you feel like before this crystal, there would be a way to extract those secrets from him. They reside within his belly.
What?
You feel like if you were to attack Albus here,
No, yeah.
you could gain access to many of those secrets that he has kept to himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, Hish,
In a weirdest
You
way, you also,
see-
like, you're feeling peckish.
I hate this. Albus, you see Hish sort of like shift his weight and lean back a bit, and you can kind of see him rest his hand just on the hilt of his scimitar, and he says, or he thinks at you. Did you just try to cast something on
You
me?
need to leave.
Why? It's fine. I mean, Albus, I get it. I know what it looks like, but you have to trust me on this one.
No. You're not thinking clearly.
I'm thinking just as clearly as I ever do.
That's the problem.
What's that supposed to mean?
Make a charisma save.
No.
Jill, you are swimming closer to the crystal? That is what
Yeah.
you posted in chat?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Well, fuck me. They're both 9s, so 10 either way.
You are no longer here, Hish.
For fuck's sake.
It's weird though, cause your surrounding doesn't look like it's changed that much. You're still just like floating in the open water. You're just there in this little bubble. Now,
Albus.
out in the distance, you can see something really big swim next to you. You're banished.
At least for a hot minute.
Great.
Scary.
All right, so Jill, you
How
are
long does
making a-
banishment last?
Until I lose concentration.
it's concentration or up to like a minute?
It's not long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a minute.
All right, so Jill, you are going to swim up to the crystal as well. So I need you to make a wisdom save.
All right.
Do I drop to the floor?
You're being worn and carried by Hish at this point, so you are just...
So you are alone with Hish.
I also blonde with a 29.
Excellent. Sounds good. You are not, you have not succumbed to whatever it is this thing is exuding. What is your perception?
My passive perception?
Yeah.
No, 19.
Cool. Albus, what's yours?
9.
Ulman, what is your bonus to stealth?
4.
Cool. Albus, while you were busy focusing on Hish, trying to remove them, Ham has disappeared in this room. Jill, with your 20, you feel this foreboding presence from this crystal, and it seems to emanate from it. And as you get closer towards it, you can see that there is what looks like a shape on the inside of this thing. And as you get closer, you can see that it almost looks like an outstretched hand that is motioning for you to come closer. And something's not right about this. And as you look at it, it's almost like there is a form that is murky underneath the surface of this crystal that just seems to, again, be coaxing you forward. And this is the first thing that you learned in cleric school, which is when an outstretched hand is like, come closer, my child. Don't fucking go there. It's a bad time. And
Did I learn that?
you didn't really have a choice with Umberly.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Make a religion check.
Let's make a religion check. 17.
With a 17, you recognize this coaxing hand. It is motioning towards you. You can feel that the salt water around you has become fetid, almost. Like it is just brackish, but like you can taste it with your water breathing potion. Something is not right here. And looking at this muted form underneath the crystal, you can see dark wings expand out that look like they are made of bone with this very stringy meat membrane that seems to connect each of them together. And there is this almost bovine looking skull with twin horns coming down from the sides that have these two dark red looking eyes that seem to just gaze towards you. And you hear it call to you. Come closer, my child. Closer and you shall be home. And you, whereas you don't believe that Hish was able to see what it was beyond the murk, you don't believe that Ham was able to see beyond the murk, you see very clearly a form. And that form looks like this.
I don't like the form of that.
Come on, the last evil entity that we encountered was a daddy. I feel betrayed.
You only get one evil daddy. And as this figure calls out to you, you realize that this is not good. This, like, when you've been influenced by other, like, divine creatures, it has always felt, at least in some way, like there is a mix of give and take that is going to be happening. Albeit Umberly's was a little not the greatest in her give and take, because it was, you can either drown or you can, live, and you always liked living. But this feels like if you were to even respond, that there would be something negative that would happen. And you know the name Orcus. And you know that Orcus has attempted to thrall you.
Question, do I see Ham at all?
Well, with that, I have a follow-up question.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Albus, does a 26 hit you?
Yes.
All right, so Ulman, I would like for you to roll sneak attack damage.
Oh.
With a short sword.
But not a +1 short sword.
Nope.
Because that's me.
That's me. You know, I've always said the rogue levels are Ulman.
So while
Damn,
while
I'm
you're
still
rolling
learning
that,
so well.
Hish, while you are floating in this bubble, just in this expanse, that you are incapacitated so long as you are banished. And you notice in the distance that big thing that was swimming by starts to come a little bit closer. And you see three glowing eyes.
What are you doing?
And then you pop back. Exactly where you left off.
Great.
Before this creature can encounter you.
Yeah, I think Hish has this look of like almost horror on his face before he sees you. Are you still standing where you were, Albus?
Apparently I'm being stabbed at the moment.
Great.
But yes, you're 10 feet away, though, from where you left off. What? 10 feet away, would that put Hish on the deck above?
Yeah, that would put Hish on the deck above from
Okay.
just
God damn it.
descent.
You popped back at the exact place that you were banished.
All right, so how much stabbies?
Pretty low, 13.
Okay. I rolled an 8 on my
Got
con
it.
save, so
Okay. And it is the weapon that that Ham is using is a short sword, but it looks jagged, almost like it is made of the same kind of sinister material that that this crystal is made out of. And you can see that where Ham normally has like the very simple boy eyes, the Lucas eyes, I would like to say, they are instead just these fiery beads of red. And again, there is just this large wicked smile that Ham seems to have as well. And they have plunged their short sword into Albus's back and are in the process of retracting it. And you can see that it has an edge to the bottom of this sword that looks like it is going to tear as it comes back out.
Okay. I see that Ham is out of the way. I'm going to look at Orcus and act like I'm extending my hand out. But as she does, energy begins to spiral in her hand as all of a sudden it just boop, boop, as she casts Shatter at 5th level at this crystal.
Damn. Okay. It is an inanimate object.
So that is a con save of 17 at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, it's a crystal, so it fails because it's an inanimate object.
I would like to channel divinity for destructive wrath to deal maximum damage instead of rolling for lightning or thunder damage. So that is 68 for 48 points of thunder damage.
Okay. And so, Hish, you pop back above deck and you hear this. Even though you are underwater, it is still a sizable thunderous boom that seems to come from below deck. And Jill, as you blast this crystal, you see that it shatters. Its structural integrity was not meant to withstand the sheer amount of damage that you have dealt with it, especially through magical means. And it just breaks and looks like it is just in the process of scattering with these tiny little crystals as they all fall to the ground. Ham, the red beady eyes that they have blink several times, and the sword that is inside of Albus just turns into a saline-like gel that then just dissipates back into the surrounding salt water. And they look scared. They don't know where they were. They don't know what they were doing. And Hish, on the deck above, it is like you had a migraine that you didn't know you had, but it has just like fizzled out, and you feel this sense of relief that you weren't expecting to encounter, and you realize you are on a skeleton ship that is sinking towards the bottom of the ocean that just tried to that successfully had convinced you to then go to the bottom of the ocean with it.
Yeah, I think Hish was mid-stride. Or sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, you no longer feel that. But it probably has to do something with the thunderous boom that came from downstairs.
Probably. Yeah, I think Hish was mid-stride with his scimitar out. And he kind of stops for a moment, looks down at it, puts it away, and I think he runs down below deck to find Albus and Jill and Ham.
When you go to put your sword away, Ulman is not there. Where everyone is in the bilge, as soon as the sword in Albus turns to goo and he like looks panicked for a moment, you see him like almost have a realization of like reassurance, and he just holds out his hand and Ulman reappears. Tucks him back on the belt.
Oh.
Ow.
Yeah, Jill is gonna swivel around and just gonna be like,
Ulman and Ham like nod their head, start swimming.
Yeah, Hish is sort of grabbing and pulling and swimming towards the top.
Everybody can still breathe.
probably not for much longer.
Jill, you'll be able to get back up to the surface. It'll be like, you'll be like 3 feet away from the surface when your potion runs out. So like, it's not too difficult to actually get back up to a breathable level. And as you are all leaving this sinking skeletal ship, you can see roughly where it was taking you. And as you're swimming up, you can see that there is what looks like a capsized ship that's aft castle is sticking up out of the ground near what appears to be this large sinkhole. And as you are leaving and you look over towards this sinkhole, you can see that there are humanoid-looking figures that are milling around the base of this sinkhole. And you see them grab what look like other humanoid forms and then just throw them into that hole and continue milling about. Jill, with your 19 passive perception, you recognize that one of the bodies that is being thrown into this hole was of your old crewmate, who had been previously tossed overboard by whatever figures you had encountered on the skeletal ship.
Yep. Gonna have to unpack that later. We're gonna keep swimming.
Okay. Yeah, so you were all able to make it back up to the surface. Triumph has just been like milling in the same place, doing little circles, waiting for you all to return. And without much effort, you are all able to then get back up onto the deck of your vessel.
Well, that was the worst loot we've ever gotten.
Eventually, we're going to need to come back and deal with that, or let somebody else do it.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Whenever the crystal was shattered, does it seem like that Orcus's presence had left the ship, or was it still just as rancid?
It seemed like the presence had left the ship, but whatever dark magics was holding it together was not dispelled.
Okay. Yeah, Jill's gonna take a big breath in and just be like, well, did not think I would come face to face with Orcus today or any other day. That is certainly terrifying.
Hello.
Ham, Hish,
Orcus.
are you two all right?
Him not happy, but him have Ulman.
Yes, that is accurate. Hish, how are you feeling?
All things considered, I'm fine. Thank you.
All right, well, it certainly could have gone much worse.
Who is Orcus?
Endor, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's like a demon prince?
Oh yeah. So since you rolled so well on your religion check previously, Orcus at one point in his wretched life was like the best of us scenario. He was a holy paladin who was the most unerring in his ways, but somehow became sickened. He became corrupted, and through just extensive processes, he was turned from this holy soul into a abomination. Throughout the ages, Orcus has since become even more foul. They have embraced this unending darkness that spews from the abyss, and at one point, even after they had been slain, they came back in a different body, waited for that body to die, and then, hey, guess what, fuckos, Orcus is still here. This demon prince is a creature of borderline godlike power. They aren't actually a god, but with the abilities that they have, it's hard to say sometimes.
Yeah, knowing that Jill is just going to relay this information and not withhold any. Albus, thank you for your quick thinking. I don't know if I would have. Well, thank you.
He'll nod, but he'll look a little disappointed as well.
Okay. I believe that we have earned some rest. Well, granted, we should probably get out of this immediate vicinity. There's still a sinkhole down there. But once we, I think, leave this radius, let's just take it easy for tonight, I think.
Ulman, make a history check.
Dirty 20?
Ulman, when you were in Uskarn, you were overhearing sailors, and you had kind of, through your travels, also heard about things like this as well. There are places in the Underdark, places in the belly of the earth, where there are cracks. There are fractured areas that connect directly to the abyss. From what you saw, from what Ham has experienced, and from what you were subject to, you believe that that sinkhole that you had seen is one of those cracks. That's it.
Now if I can remember what I was gonna say. You say a nice relaxing evening. Does that mean a large crew dinner?
You're
muted.
muted.
Sorry. Well, that's certainly not a large crew. But it might be good to do that. Yeah.
I'm actually really hungry right now, surprisingly.
All right, well, then I'll make up some snacks, followed by the trappings of dinner, and then I'll explore this thing called a cheesed cake. I'm not sure how it's supposed to work, but we'll see. He
Just,
marches off towards the kitchen.
is it just caked on cheese?
I don't know, but it sounds gross. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yep, we make it back on the boat.
Yep. Alrighty, so you are now all on the boat, Ulman. You are in the process of making this here cheesed cake, and things honestly go very well. As far as sailing the hell away from wherever this, from where this encounter had been had. Your lone remaining crewman is very silent during this time. They weren't prepared to encounter this. They really stuck on so that way they could, go fishing. But you guys have earned the ire of Umberlee before, and they were okay with that. But hearing all of you speak about what it is that they encountered, they just don't know if staying on board was the right decision for them. Is there anything that you guys would like to do this evening besides eat this cheesed cake?
I think Jill is going to be up top until dinner time, just kind of scanning the perimeter, walking around. I mean, there's not much she really needs to do in terms of to piloting the ship, but she's still just kind of looking around for any other signs of danger. Still pretty tensed up.
For sure.
I think while we're in the process of cooking, Ulman reaches out to Hammond. Are you feeling all right, Ham?
And Ham, if you ask if he's feeling all right, he says, scared.
Yeah, that was a bad situation. When I felt it pushing on us, I shouldn't have kept at it. I should have gone back for help or something. I'm sorry to have put you through that.
It's okay. I accept your apology. And Ham, it's hard for him to say anything without 110% levels of gusto. And he has heard you use words like that before, and so he believes that that is the right words to say.
I appreciate it. Every time we get into situations like this, I just think about how I don't want to do it again. Because it's dangerous. I worry about us. We've got lots of fun things to do, and I don't want to miss out on them.
It'll be okay. Hish is really strong, and Jill's really smart and good at words, and Albus is really nice.
You're right. It will be. Thanks. Now, are you sure we measured this right? This is so much sugar we're putting into this.
It's a lot of cream cheese!
Yeah. All right, and they go back to...
Okay. And then, Albus, is there anything that you would like to be doing during this eve?
I'm grabbing a really big blanket and just like wrapping it like around my head, and I'm gonna be in the kitchen, just like head down on the table in a blanket.
Okay. Every once in a while, you will hear Ham holding half of a conversation, because even though they can communicate telepathically, Ham likes making mouth sounds. They are a slime who learned how to speak. They just enjoy doing these things.
Yeah.
All right. So you are waiting for the cheesecake, and then Hish. Was there anything that you would like to do during this?
I think Hish just goes to his room, opens the window, lays down, takes a nap.
Okay. And Hish, you are awoken by a bird that has flown into your window. It is a small raven that, as you awaken, it opens up its mouth and says, "Everything's going fine. No troubles along the road. Hope you're well. See you soon. Ollie misses you."
Aww. Okay. Yeah, I think Hish smiles and heaves a big sigh and sort of yeah, I think he closes his eyes again, with a smile on his face.
And as you take that deep sigh, the raven will put its arms to its side. It stiffens up a little bit, and you see that it just turns into this silvered figure before it just careens to one side and then falls over, returning back to the figurine that it once was. All right. And as the cheesecake is finished in its preparation, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stick with us so far. Thank you to Lex Mandrake for the follow. I know that we didn't say so earlier, but thank you. And thank you to Blink Dog for giving them a sub. That was really kind. And we will try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. There's still that code of 25 clothes going on. So consider picking yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. And we're back. Hello, everybody. So we have just avoided going down to the depths of the ocean into that dreaded sinkhole where, who knows, some stuff is happening down there. But we have bigger fish to fry. Big old meanie face catfish, that is, as you guys make your way continuously towards the country of So we left off with all of you being able to have some of this delicious cheesecake. I won't make you roll for it, Ulman, because I want you to succeed on making this wonderful cheesecake.
Thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
it's crew dinner, and we gotta talk.
It's true. Are you waiting until your other crewman is gone and it's going to be just like the primary members, or are you having a conversation with this dude as well?
He's part of the crew. That means he gets to hear what I have to say.
I think that he will just go back. He'll do some night fishing. Like, can hear what you have to say, but at the same time, like, he's been through a lot, man. And now he's got, like, he has so much sugar in his system. Like, You have to think about the steady diet that this dude has. He's probably not ever had this much sugar all in one place before.
Oh yeah, this is wild. This is more sugar than I've ever put in anything before.
Alrighty, so it is your
okay.
group sitting around your dinner table.
It feels like it's been a while since we've all been able to sit here at one time for dinner, at least.
Perhaps you're right.
Did you see that pit?
Yes, I did.
I could be off, but there was a book I read a long time ago, and it said that there are places around where there are cracks in our plane, and some of them like just reach down and break through the bottom of us into the Underdark, and some break into other places. And I just have this gut feeling that that pit links to the abyss.
Well, I certainly believe you are correct. I think at least that was the rumor that was going around, and now, well, I don't see any reason to discount it at this point.
I don't even know what you'd start to do to deal with that. Not that I am going to. I just, even hypothetically, like, that's just a straight up physical feature.
Indoor? Are there ways to like seal these fissures between the planes?
Yeah. You can either, as a physical thing, you literally could just put a big fucking rock over it and make it so nothing can get in or out. Although, honestly, if something was strong enough, it would also be able to lift up the rock. Or there are magical effects that you could put in place that would then break the planar magic that connects your plane to the abyss. There are methods of taking care of this issue.
Well, it's possible you can close it. There are different means to do so with varying degrees of effectiveness.
Maybe I'll mark that up for years down the line when I'm getting the itch to adventure again.
So what you're saying is you've had your fill?
I mean, after this task of ours is over, I hope not to see the levels of danger we've seen in our time together for a while, at least.
Yeah, I hear that.
Trying to raise a son here. I don't know if we told you, but Ham has decided to take my last name.
That's awesome. Welcome to fatherhood.
Thanks. I've got 2 kids now. Wait, Am I the number one father now? Do I get the mug? I have 2 kids.
Hish pulls his mug bag very close to him and raises his butter knife at you.
Or does the number indicate the number of children? Do I get number 2 dad because I have 2 kids? And someone with 3 kids gets number 3 dad.
Albus has like number 3000 dad.
There could be only one.
Yeah, I think Hish kind of lets the butter knife fall down a bit, and he says, "You know, I've never really thought about whether it was the amount of children, but I don't think it is. But either way, you're gonna have to find your own mug."
It's only a true mug if it's given to you by your child. Doesn't have to be handmade, but you know. It must be a gift, freely given.
Yeah. No, you're right. You know, a little off topic, but I would love to go 1 week without something happening to my brain without me wanting it to. That would be great.
I get it.
Yeah.
I am shocked. Just thinking about the odds of the amount of nigh to deific beings we have encountered in not very long.
Well, I suppose that begs the question. Once we get to Muraan and hopefully accomplish what we wish to accomplish, what then?
Something with less gods and less suckholes, preferably. But honestly, I don't know. What will be next for you?
Well, it seems as though with us all together doing the things we do, danger follows, right? Any sane person would say perhaps another line of work, perhaps a new cohort of associates would probably be, um, you know, less dangerous. But I don't know. Perhaps I'll know once I get home.
Were some of the things you dreamed of doing when you were under Umberly?
Getting off the fucking ocean. Traveling, seeing the sights, land, being on land a lot. I missed the land.
I mean, there's a lot of land to explore.
Yes. But not contractually bound to the ocean anymore, so those options are available to me. And well, who knows? Maybe whenever I see my family again, I'll want to stay with them, or perhaps I'll go travel like I wanted to.
I was thinking of maybe staying in Muraan for a while. I want to finish some of Ham's education before we get a move on. But eventually I do have a wife to find. And a daughter. And a wretch of a mother-in-law.
Thought you were trying to stop running into danger.
Yeah, it comes with my goals, I guess.
What about you, Albus?
I have no idea. I assume once my task is done, I may not be myself anymore. I may just go home. I'm not sure.
When you banished me, was that your home?
What was it? What was it?
You don't get to choose?
I don't think so.
It was kind of like I was just in the open ocean, except there was this giant thing with 3 glowing eyes staring at me, so I assumed it was one of your cohorts.
It may have been.
Well, that's terrifying. No offense.
Do you wish to go home, Albus?
But I don't know what that is. I don't remember it. I know I was there for a few moments whenever I died. But as try as I might, I don't remember what it was like. The only things I was able to hold on to are what I've already shared with you.
Maybe this is a strange question, but do you think... I guess we don't know if you're just going to disappear once your task is complete, but if you had the choice to live out the rest of this body's life, would you do that?
No. I am in so much pain.
That's
all
fair.
the time. I feel useless. I feel weak. And I hurt all the time. So no, I do not want to stay in this body.
What if it didn't hurt?
How long ago have you, do you remember being in your original form?
You mean, how long have I
Yeah, do you
been
remember
in this
it?
way?
Do you remember what it was like to be in your original body?
Sort of. I didn't. But when I met with Umberly for the first time, and every time I've been there, I was in my original body. which has helped a lot.
Do you remember, were you a drinker?
Socially, but not.
Do you
not a lot.
remember what it's like to be very, very drunk?
Yes.
I feel like I'm always drunk and not in a fun way. Like, I remember that I used to be able to think more clearly. I remember having full control of my mental faculties, but I just can't get there. Ever.
I can see how that would be frustrating. I suppose it's hard to think past some of that. Some jumps of logic are hard to get to when you are in such a state as you described.
For what
Then-
it's worth, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, even now, Albus, you still do very incredible things. Not that that, cancels out the pain you feel in any way, but I don't want you to think that you are, that you're weak and powerless. You do a lot.
But thank you.
I know I can rely on you, and it's not something I say about everybody.
I know that you are all very used to this. Me. And I get the feeling that you all expected a different answer, but I'm sorry, I can't do that. I just want some fucking relief.
Then we'll get our man and get you home.
And he'll just take a long sip of whatever has been provided to him.
It's almost getting predictable at this point. As soon as I found myself in a jam down there, who came knocking?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Thorsden.
What'd you tell him?
I told him that I have no interest in dealing with the gods, and that when they say they can help me, they mean they can provide me small benefits while they use me to accomplish their goals in the long run. Or just like the idea of something I said and then not follow through on their bargains. I'm very
It sounds like you've had your fill.
displeased with the whole concept of gods at the moment. So whenever he shows up, I just kind of, can you just, not? I led a simple life in the woods, and that was really nice. This has been fun and interesting, But man, I want to tend some crops for a while and spend some time whittling branches and repairing people's roofs because they need it. And I delivered a couple of children. I was an everyman. You know, I was always there, always ready to help. I thought some of those things were hard, but apparently there's a lot of scales of difficulty to life, and that just seems so easy and nice nowadays.
Well, you haven't lost that willingness to help. Continue to do so every day.
It's what I do best.
Hish, I don't believe we asked you. What do you plan to do?
I suppose that depends. Likely something not on the sea anymore. I think Talia's a little tired of it, and I'm inclined to agree. But yeah, I don't know. Supposed to be looking for a house. But I don't even know where to start with thinking about that.
Well, you could start thinking about the really cool house that we made and something far simpler than that, but still just as cool, and getting to greet Ollie as he arrives and show him his very own room.
Yeah, he's going to be really excited about that. I guess I have to think about whether we want it to be a 3-bedroom house. That's probably appropriate.
I think Ulman eyes you and he raises an eyebrow and says, "Guest bedrooms are nice."
Well, then that would make it a 4-bedroom
He
house.
raises his other eyebrow and then just drops both of them.
I don't think I could afford a 4-bedroom house, but I mean a 3-bedroom.
Perhaps a 2-bedroom house might work.
He kind of stops. I mean, well,
I mean, but like, what if you push your beds together?
Plus, space. It is very convenient.
Yeah, I think Hish sort of like whatever his version of blushing is, like his cheeks get like a bit flush. You could sort of tell under the beard, and he kind of like he's staring pointedly down at the table, and he says, "Well, I would just, I suppose I would have to ask Talia. I guess I mean, I was just under the impression that maybe she would want her own space for once. But
Yeah.
So you're not
ghost.
opposed to the idea.
The rooms can be renovated into workshops or craft rooms. That's a nice space for someone.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you just talk about it. Maybe get extra rooms that you can use later for whatever.
Right. Yeah. Well, just do you would it be awkward to bring up? I guess not. We're gonna have to talk about it at some point. But do you really think she would want to get a 2-bedroom house?
You pulled her out of the ocean away from an angry god, I think. I'm not sure the depths of your previous relationship, but people don't tend to get over that.
But I mean, just because I pulled her out of the ocean doesn't mean that she's like. What I'm saying is she might also feel that not being near me is better because I was the one, I'm sort of the reason that she was put in that position in the first place.
Would you like me to ask her?
She's put up with your bullshit for a
I
long
need some
time.
rum, please.
You make that too.
Very easily and readily are the alcoholic drinks readily available for your group.
I can ask her how many bedrooms you should be looking for your house.
I don't know. I think it's better if
I really want to
Just
see
ask
this
that.
play out, though, kind of.
Well, maybe not phrase it that way because it sort of sounds like you are
Well-
either wanting to live with us or it's a very strange question. But maybe I wouldn't be opposed to one of you inquiring about.
Well, you heard the man.
Would you like me to do that now?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you like me to do that now?
No, yes, no.
I'm getting two very conflicting answers.
Maybe.
I think it's better if you ask a little more direct version of that question face to face.
Which one of us are you talking to?
Looking at you, Hish.
But then if I did that and she said no, or maybe she wants more bedrooms than I potentially would want. And
How many bedrooms do you want, Hish?
the standard amount. I'm gonna. He gets up.
How many
He
bedrooms
gets
is
up.
more than potentially the amount you want? How many bedrooms would you be content with? On a max level.
I'm content with any and all, just the standard amount of bedrooms. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go lay down.
All right, Captain. Have a good night. Make sure to drink some
Anyway.
water.
Is the standard amount 2 or 3 bedrooms?
I don't know. I don't think there's a standard amount of bedrooms. Is there?
Every
I
house
certainly
in Lethong only has one room.
Oh.
Well, that throws off the average a little bit. But I feel like, I guess if you're thinking about people having families, usually 2 to 3 rooms, depending on how large your family is. So I guess if she wants 4 to 5 rooms, that would be a little absurd, and I can see where she's coming from.
Talia seems like a practical woman, though. I don't think she would spring for that.
Oh no. I think the question is just between 2 and 3.
I think it could be 2. Maybe. Well, it's none of my business anyway.
I mean, they're our friends. It's only because we care about them.
Oh, of course, Ulman.
Y'all are fucking wildin', and I love this game.
I'm excited to be at our destination.
Yeah, I get the sense that once we reach Muraan, this what we have now. Life the way we currently know it. I don't think we'll get this again.
I hope that's not true. Maybe Albus won't be able to attend as personally, but I hope at least the 3 of us get to sit down at a table. Well, I guess 4. Wow. If all 5 of us could sit at a table together one day. That'd be really nice. I'd like that.
Well, yeah, it's something I would look forward to as well. But I also want to enjoy it while we still have it.
Of course.
Thank you for the cheesecake. It was delicious.
It was very sweet, but also
Very
so
heavy.
incredibly creamy, and I'll be making another one. I think I have a few ideas for ways to spice them up. But maybe I'll hold back on the sugar a bit.
Well, do as you see fit. For myself, I think I'll be heading off for the evening. So, good night, Ulman, Ham, Albus.
Good night.
Have a good night.
And I leave without a to-go coffee.
I will also leave.
Sounds good. So, is there anything that people would like to do before going to sleep? For if not, your journeys may continue onward. Jill, when you are getting ready to go to bed, you hear a scritching inside of your notebook. And when you go to inspect it, it is Tharsden. As always, the only person who can really write in your book. And they say, or you read, "I tried to help." And then you see there's a little frowning face.
I know. But consider this. You were able to help in an indirect way.
How so?
Well, I don't suppose that this power is innately mine. I certainly didn't have access to it before Umberly, and, well, now that Umberly is no longer in my life, I suppose it comes from you.
It comes from your belief in me. I merely present it. But the power that you gain is yours.
Well, regardless of the exact semantics of it all, I mean, you were there in a sense, and you also helped in a sense. Do you wish to help more?
I promised I would help protect the people you care about. Didn't I?
That's true.
But how can I protect those people when they don't want me to protect them?
Well, I suppose even when you have the intent, and even when it comes from a good place, it's always the other person's, well, they always have the right to deny the help. But it certainly doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Then should I keep trying? Every time Ulman has told me no.
How about
Should I
this?
try to protect Hish?
How about this then? If you allow me to grow stronger, I will be the one who protects those I care about, and those who I will come to care about, and perhaps even those that I don't necessarily care about.
Then I will leave this decision in your hands.
Very well.
And then the follow-up message is, "And Jill, you did well today."
Thank you.
And there are no more follow-up scritches.
Close the book in and head to bed.
Okay. So, yes, Hish.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, I think before he goes to bed, he takes the Hish grabs the statue. Oh wait, no, I can only use it at dawn, right?
You can only use it once per dawn, but I feel like in this moment where the rum has been going around and you know that you have a way of speaking to Talia with your own voice, I feel like that would be very much a Hish thing to do, is just like look at this idol. and like contemplate what you would say if you could use it in the moment.
Yeah, I think he sits there and he's staring at it and he's sort of drumming his fingers, and we watch him pull out like a notepad, and we see him writing and then scribbling out and then writing again and then counting, like he's trying to count how many words he has. And I think he continues to drink his rum and he falls asleep at his desk next to the statue, trying to write out what it is he's trying to say.
You just stay drunk until dawn, and then as soon as like a Talia, just like drunk phone call the ex in brute form.
I still love you, and I think we have something special. You should make it work. 2 bedrooms, baby.
We should get a 2-bedroom house.
You're so soft.
But yes, Ish, you will totally just fall asleep writing out this message. And then in the morning, you see the note that you had written out. You can see towards the end, it's not that the words were getting sloppy because you were writing them out. It's just that your handwriting was more just like, I think like you can't read what the last paragraph of it says. And but yes, you have the capabilities of being able to send Talia a message if you would so choose.
Yeah, I think he sort of flips through the notebook and like you can see the cringe on his face. And he wads them all up and throws them away. And yeah, he just reaches over and grabs the statuette and he says, what does he say? He says, "Glad to hear you're safe. Tell Ollie I miss him too. And if he stays out of trouble, he can have cheesecake. All is well here. Love you." And sends it off. And then he stops. Yeah, I think he goes to like sort of dart out the window and try to grab the bird before it goes.
Make a dexterity save
Okay.
to see if you can grab this burb.
How can I influence this to where he fails? Triumph, just turn a little bit.
Well, that's a 7 minus 1.
All right, so for the Raven stats, I rolled a 3. So you are able to like grab onto the tail feathers of this raven, and it squawks. It doesn't like the fact that you were trying to hold it from doing its thing.
Yeah, I think he's sort of saying, "Get back here," and is trying to like pull the raven back in through the window.
Okay. I would say it is early enough in the morning that Jill, you would be getting coffee from the deck. Ulman, you would be in the kitchen, and Albus, I believe that most of your mornings are just spent in a very nice, quaint, dark corner.
Yep.
So Hish, you would definitely at least see, or Jill, you would see Hish like at least one of Hish's big beefy arms leaning out of the window, holding on to this raven.
What are you doing?
And just like Hish is a very strong half orc, so pulling this raven back in is pretty easy.
Yeah, I think the raven's sort of flailing as he is sort of leading out the window, and he kind of turns to you and he says, I'm trying not to send a message that I was sending.
Why?
No reason. He sinks back in through the window and pulls the raven behind him and closes the window.
Ulman, you were saying something, but you were muted.
Was this a loud enough commotion that I would have heard?
What's your passive perception?
19.
Yeah, you would have heard it.
Jesus.
Then I want to like knock on your front door. Captain, are you all right?
There's
I'm
a
fine.
fluttering noise of a winged creature trying to escape.
What is that bird noise?
Well, what do you think it is?
I'd like to cast the Gust cantrip on Hish's window to see if I can get it open.
Yeah,
allow it.
I think Ulman is gonna try the door.
Okay. So, Hish, you see that the door handle is in the process of turning.
Mm-hmm.
As Ulman is beginning to talk to you, do you try and like hold the door shut?
Yeah, I think Hish turns and pushes his back against the door and says, "No, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't come in. I'm naked."
Are you sure? I can. Well, Ham can talk to the bird. If we can convince it to, you know.
It is at that point
Hish!
that you hear a whoosh. And Hish, your window opens, and with a quick flutter, this raven just shoots to its freedom.
Fuck. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
Hish sort of steps forward, sort of releasing the door, and you you just hear him go, "Fuck."
Ulman pokes his head in. I think it'll be all right. You can't have said something that bad, right?
Hish isn't naked at all.
Yeah, Hish turns and he's just grumbling as he sort of pushes past you and goes downstairs for coffee.
I think Ulman does already have a cup in hand and hands it to you.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, he takes it. But yeah, continues to go downstairs.
Hish, what's the worst that could happen?
I don't want to think about it.
Great.
Very well. Just makes eyes at Ulman, just like the wind today is just so strange.
Yeah. And Albus, was there something that you wanted to do?
Get up and get coffee and then just walk back to a dark place.
Sounds good. So the next set of days, there isn't really much that is going to be going on in terms of sailing. So unless there's anything for that following day where Hish, you have accidentally sent out this raven, there's no like other skeleton ship that is going to be emerging, so you all can, if there's anything you would like to do, you're more than welcome to do it. Otherwise, we will just continue on with the travel to Muraan. Hish, the next day, you don't receive a message back from the Silvered Raven. It is actually several days until you receive a message back.
Oh, barf. Hish has been extra grumpy.
Yeah, I think like Ulman has just kind of been sheepishly feeding you whatever you demand. And being extra nice.
He's just eaten like 3 cheesecakes on his own.
Is everything all right?
I just haven't heard from Talia and Ollie for a while, so I'm a little worried, but otherwise I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Do you need me to call them?
No, I'm trying not to. I mean, no. I'm trying not to be overbearing and just wait.
But
Patiently.
you are worried.
Maybe if you could just check and see if, like, they're there.
Okay.
Hish wants to know if he got left on red.
I am going to cast Sending to Talia.
Don't tell her that I asked.
Talia, it's Albus. Where are how far have you gotten? Blah 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 blah. What's your ETA getting to Muraan?
Albus? We're still on the road. Days out from Baldur's Gate. Why do you want to know? Is Hish asking about me?
Okay, Sending again. No, we got held up. Wanted to make sure we still got to Muraan before you. How big of a house do you want?
I assumed you would get there before us, regardless of hangups. We're doing fine. Do you need a place to stay?
God damn it, I only have so many Sendings. No. Just trying to help Hish with the housing market. I don't know. However a reasonable person would explain that. As somebody who is also having trouble dealing with the housing market.
Yeah, Albus, you're really good at lying right now. You're doing a great job.
I imagine that's Hish just like giving shit on the side too.
I have a deception of 5. I think I know what I'm doing.
Thanks for your consideration. We should have enough money that housing size and market isn't an issue. Worst case, we start small and go from there.
They're alive.
Okay.
They're a few days out from Baldur's Gate.
That's it.
Yeah.
You were kind of doing your thing there for a while, so it seemed like you didn't say anything else, right?
Mm.
You didn't mention me.
No, I did not mention you.
I would roll insight, but I think Hish wants to believe this.
Okay.
In fact, she asked if you had asked me to ask her about where
She-
she is.
She asked about me.
She asked if you were
Oh my god.
asking me to send stuff to her.
Did you?
I said no. I lied. Does that make you happy?
Yes. That's fine. Thank you, Albus. I'm gonna go back to work. Goes back to his office. takes the rest of the cheesecake.
Okay.
Jill, and I feel like that's usually you.
What do you mean by that?
That exit, it's just...
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
I do that whenever I don't want to talk about something.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with it, yes.
it's called the "you can't talk to me if I'm not here." Something like that.
It's an effective strategy, I'll give him that.
It is. He, like, looks over at you like he's gonna start asking you poking questions, and then
I
just
walk away.
Bill and waves his hand and leans back into his chair and sips a coffee.
All right. So, the next day, Hish, you receive a peck at your window of a raven that has made its way towards you. And
He gets up just so fucking fast.
okay.
Opens it.
Sounds good. So, the raven says, "Did you have Albus ask about me?"
Son of a bitch!
Ollie is learning to use a short sword. He's doing well and misses his dad. Love you too.
He's just to go lay down for 5 hours.
Just staring at the ceiling.
What should I do?
Okay. So, are there any other messages that are sent between Hish and Talia to further this discourse? Now that you have the burb, it is up to you to then send something back if you want Talia to then have the raven.
No, I know. I have to sort myself out for a second.
That's all right. You don't have to send one back the following day. You can just take your time. Talia took her time figuring out a message as well. 25 words is not very much to tell somebody anything, really. That's why multiple sendings are always used on this channel. So, you guys are going to be at sea for roughly about... It'll take closer to around 2 weeks to actually get to the Amish coast. Amen, Yeah, I think it's Amen, because Amish is completely different. But you are able to eventually begin making your way towards there. And as you are rounding a large body of land, Jill, this is the feeling that you get of coming home to like a childhood home after you've been away for years. You know these shores, you know what these outcroppings of lands are, you've been there, you've traveled around, but it all feels so increasingly familiar. But with that sense of familiarity, there is a amount of distance that comes with it as well, because you aren't the same person that you were when you left. And as your vessel draws close towards the docks, or towards the port of Muraan, Jill, you realize that Muraan is not the same city that it was when you left either. Whereas Muraan was never a predominantly wealthy city, with the plethora of trade princes and mercantilism that seems to frequent it, the buildings themselves seem like they are in a state of disrepair. The wood that is normally very well colored seems like the paint is peeling. Everything seems like it has swelled into itself but has not yet released the water that is within the wood, and it all just seems very almost run down at this point. You remember the buildings being taller, you remember the streets being more lively and busier, and you aren't sure if it is just nostalgia at this point that's making you remember the city in this way, or if there is some actual change to it. But it feels different.
Yeah, I think Jill is just going to be on the deck, and she's not going to say much, but I think you could see maybe like, if you were to look, her hands kind of like digging into the wood and the side of the ship, and just watching, just contemplating. But there's a tenseness about her.
And Triumph, in Hish, at this point, it would be strange enough to just have this ship roll up without any captain on it, or at least a helmsman. So you more go to the helm to create an air of formality at this point. And Triumph, whose wooden carapace over this journey has reformed in the areas where the bone ship had actually struck against it, has all regrown. Triumph finds a area of the dock that other ships aren't frequenting, and manages to nestle themselves up against the pier. And with very little effort, you are able to actually park your ship. It was strange when you first got to when you had first gotten to Uskarn, how simple Triumph seemed to make the actual parking of this vessel. But upon actually getting to it now, it's fine. Like, things have been weirder. Things are fine at this point. And you were able to get your at least several week-long stretch of no weird deities trying to make their way into your brain. The only thing instead that you had to worry about was the mind worm that was your ex-lover, but stay in ex-wife. That's its own kind of hell. But thankfully, Triumph is able to find its way here onto the pier, and you are all able to descend outward into the city. And when you are, and Jill, is there anything that you would like to do specifically? Are you planning on getting off the ship, or are you planning on staying?
I think
Yeah.
Jill like starts to walk off the ship, but kind of like hesitates and like kind of steps back and kind of just like almost like a little, stop and go shuffle, just kind of trying to decide.
Ulman steps up. Would you like company?
Sure, I suppose it couldn't hurt.
He nods and places his hand on the back of your shoulder and like pushes you into a step.
Falls over. Just kidding. Yeah, she'll allow herself to like move forward. She'll hesitate a little right before she like steps into the dock, but with Ulman's momentum, she'll she'll step on the dock and probably let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding in.
All right. And so does your group then descend? And as you are making your way at the end of the dock, there is as you're making your way in, you see that there are a group of individuals that all look like they are fairly they're not well dressed by any means, but they are wearing what looks like studded leathers. One of them has a breastplate on, and they will actually approach your group and say, "Stars has an entrance fee, 10 gold." And they make a motion with their hands for some kind of currency. And Jill, you don't remember the docks being called the Styes before, but it seems like that is the new moniker that they have taken in your absence.
Well, that's certainly new.
I'll pay.
Okay. So it's 40 gold in total.
Okay.
And after you pay, they let you pass. No longer they seem to be accepting of this coin. And
Detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts. The thought that you receive from the one who took your coin is, "It's always so simple with out-of-towners." You know that you just got strong-armed out of 40 gold.
That's fine.
And as your group is walking towards the docks, and Jill, you are becoming refamiliarized with this area, and it feels weird. There are a plethora of beggars that you see where normally there really wouldn't have been that before. It seems like time has not treated this section of the city well, and you with your 19 passive perception, and Ulman with your passive perception also being bananas, you hear there is a small crowd that has gathered in near one of these like cross streets, and the two of you can hear the sound of martial activity, not necessarily in the form of like swords against shields, that kind of thing, but it sounds like there is physical contact that is happening, and you hear a older man saying, "Please stop! cut it out! And there is a group of younger voices that are laughing to themselves. And as you get near, you see that there is a crowd of people that have ringed around a group of kids, and these kids seem to just be stomping on this old man.
Yeah. I think Jill's gonna like grit her teeth and like clenching her fists, and she is going to walk up in that group. And I think she's going to cast Thaumaturgy and just go fuck off and just make a loud booming sound as she does so.
Okay. It seems like that is enough to frighten away the group of... They can't be older than 13. Like, they are young kids that are just being shitty teens towards this old man. And you can see, like, he's wearing the vestments of a holy man. And as you realize who this is somebody who has been a religious figure in the docks for many years. His name, at least that you remember, was Master Rephram. And now that the show, as it were, has been stopped, that these kids are no longer kicking this old man, the crowd that had built itself in an almost U-like fashion just gets bored. They throw up just quick, like, dismissive hand signs and turn around, and you can see that there were bets that had actually been taken out against this old man to see how long, like, whether or not he would defend himself or if somebody else would actually come to his aid. And you can see coin being exchanged between this crowd. This is not the town that you remember. And Rephram gets up, and you can see that he's kind of holding onto his side where a lot of the kicks had actually landed, and he just says, "Oh, thank you. Thank you, kind Jilfa'en? Is that you?"
I think she'll like kneel down and like start to like examine him and be like, Master Rephram, are you all right?
I would have been fine eventually. I was thinking of doing the same thing that you did. Actually, the kids hate loud noises these days.
Do his wounds seem like superficial or like...
He probably has like a busted rib, but a lot of it is mostly just dark bruises, that sort of thing. It doesn't look like he's been eating very well either.
Yeah, I think she'll just pump like a level 1 cure wounds in there just to make sure he's okay. This is 7 hit points.
Okay. And he will accept your 7 hit points, and he feels much more invigorated. Oh, well, that wasn't something that I expected, but you did set out quite a while ago to be, what was it, a cleric?
I've had some training in the arts, but please, can we...
Yes.
meet somewhere. Can we discuss?
Yes.
Also, these are my traveling companions.
Hello. It's nice to meet all of you. Thank you for stepping in on my behalf. Please, this way. And he will take you to what looks like a rundown chapel in this area, and he motions for you all to sit. And he says, Welcome to the skies. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. As you guys reach Chapter 8 of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Tammeraut's fate is finished, which means, hey, we get a level up. And the level up difference between Chapter 7 and 8 is pretty significant. So we can talk about that in Nights in the Courtyard. So let's get this underway. Hey, Dingo, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me on Twitter at WheresMyDingus. On Tuesdays, you can find me on Off the Table playing Alas for the Awful Sea, Storms and Stars. Thursdays, you can find me here. And then tomorrow and every other Friday, you can find me back on Off the Table playing Tales from Thersha, which is a D&D 5e homebrew campaign.
What's up? It's your boy Reeves. Having a great time here tonight playing Ulman and Ham Dark. I'm glad that we are here safe. You can find me at Reeves_bot, both on Twitch and Twitter. On Twitch, I mostly just retweet random stuff that comes across my timeline that I think is cool, and occasionally post thoughts that I have. So if that interests you, follow me. On Twitch, you can find me on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, playing some games with my friends. We played through all of Divinity 2 on Tactician, had a great time with that. Now we're playing through some Terraria. Probably going to beat the Wall of Flesh at the very least this coming Sunday. But yeah, having a great time.
Boy.
I'm Cyber. You can find me at CyberWolf1, where I tweet mostly just pictures of my dog and also various shit posts. And also talk about whenever I go live on twitch.tv/CyberWolf1, where I play video games badly and talk about lore. No stream this week. Because, yeah. All the archives of that go to YouTube, youtube.com/CyberWolf1, where you can also find the podcast that KyleWithAnN I do called Let's Talk About It. Eventually, I'm gonna edit the next episode and put it up there. Maybe, I don't know. Who has time? There's more stuff there, and yeah. For other RPG stuff, on Saturdays, I play on ProStar's 5th edition Tal'Dorei game, the Black Banner. I'm not gonna be there this week because of reasons. And I'm here on Mondays in our homebrew 5e game where I play Albus, not Albus. I play Archon in that game, the draconian blood hunter fighter, and I'm here playing Archon, not Archon, Albus, the semi-hybrid sorcerer. I'm very tired.
Monday would be such a different game entirely with Albus instead.
Albus would be dead.
Yeah, 110%.
Hi everyone, I'm KyleWithAnN, and I'm mad, but I'm also known as KyleWithAnN on Twitter and Twitch. On Twitch, I infrequently stream video games, and on Twitter, I frequently shitpost and talk about the projects I'm in. You've heard about some of them already. Last for the Awful Sea, Storms and Stars, Tal'Dorei, Black Banner, Saga. That's a video game. Also, every other Wednesday, so not next Wednesday, you just missed it, but the Wednesday after, on Playbooks and Pals, we'll be playing Masks Planned Obsolescence. We got an eviction notice, and we're dealing with that, and we ended on a cliffhanger. Woo! Teen superheroes, lots of fun. But if you don't like looking at things and you just like listening to things, I got some podcasts too. There's KyleWithAnN, Urban Shadow's actual play podcast, done by Off the Table, available on iTunes, Spotify, and Bandcamp. And there's also the Sister City show, East Cedo Beach, which, hey, if you like what I'm doing in KyleWithAnN, you should probably also listen to East Cedo Beach, because in a couple of episodes or so, I get to be on East Cedo Beach for crossover episodes. So, yeah, both shows are good, and they have, they affect each other in different ways. Also, you already heard about Let's Talk About It. I forgot to mention that one earlier. Listen to it. That's it for me.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All of our VODs end up getting posted to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures, and if you are more auditorily inclined, consider going to anywhere where podcasts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. However, right now we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. And there are quite a few for tonight's session. So I am excited to get to it. So with that in mind, thank you to everybody who decided to stop by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!